Before we get started, just want to let you know that I am having a Memorial Day sale until the 1st of June. Get $10 off your order, no promo required, and that includes the Memorial Day bundle pack. Get 3 full preset packs and my mixed media texture pack all in one bundle until the 1st of June. For the best looking results for this effect, you want your clip to be roughly at least 60 frames per second or higher. My clip is 120, or to be more precise, 119. I'm taking a look at my project settings and get my timeline set at 24 FPS. If you're overseas, you probably have it set at 25 FPS. This will give you the maximum range as far as creating slow motion. So now I'm gonna go back over to the clip. I'm gonna right click and select retime controls, or you can use the keyboard shortcut Control R or Command R if you're on Mac. I hit this little drop down arrow and I'm gonna select add speed point. Then I go to where he's about to drop the train back down, select the drop down arrow again, and add another speed point. Now I move further into my clip, and you lift his hand up by right here. I add another speed point, and wait till you drop his hand down, and add another speed point. And anytime you add a speed point, you get these little brackets. There's two parts to the bracket. The top part adjusts where the placement of the speed point is. So if you decide you want to move the placement somewhere else, you can just do that by moving this back and forward. Then the top part of the bracket adjusts the speed. So the bracket will only affect what's in between it. So now I'm gonna stretch this out. It's gonna automatically move everything to the side. And since my clip is 120 FPS, I can drop this down to roughly 25%. So I continue to move this forward so I get to 25, and that's gonna create the slow motion. So anything that's in the blue with the 100%, that's at regular motion. So right when it get to here, I'm gonna move this back down to 25% and then creates my slow motion. And typically you can leave it as it is and have an abrupt change where it instantly goes from 100 to 25%, or you can create a gradual transition. So now we're gonna right click the clip, go to retime curve, and these here are your animation curves. So say for instance, this first one, I wanna have a gradual transition. I go over and select the little notch here. Then I hit this little hump here, where basically is the animation curve. Click on it and it's gonna stretch it out. Then you grab these handles on the side, you can stretch it out even further or make it shorter. So now instead of abruptly just switching from automatically from 100 to 25, it slow down over time, then get the abrupt change. Now that I'm done with this, I'm gonna right click and deactivate retime curve. Now I wanna create a quick zoom in effect. I'm gonna go over to effects again and adjustment clip and bring it down. I'm gonna place the adjustment clip a little bit past this point here, and then I'm gonna adjust this to the end of the slow motion. I'm gonna take the adjustment clip and go into fusion. With the medium one selected, I'm gonna grab a transform node. Then I'm gonna go over to the spectrum tab, and on the sides, I'm gonna right click, select modify width, atom curve. Go over to the modifiers tab. I'm gonna switch this source to custom. Then I'm gonna go down to offset, double click the parameters and change it to 1. Then bring back my clip. Then I'm gonna go over to the very first frame of the clip, go back to the inspector tab where it says input. I'm gonna set a keyframe at 0. Now I'm gonna place my playhead roughly about, I'm gonna go to frame 20, and then back over the inspector tab, I'm gonna turn input to 1. Of course, it's zoomed in way too much. The scale controls how much the input, how far the input goes. So the input goes from 0 to 1. The scale is actually determining what 1 is. So right now, 1 is reading at 5. I'm gonna turn this dial here, then turn it back to where I want. So go about right here. Right now it's creating a slow zooming effect. We're gonna change it with the spline. Click on spline at the top, select transform. If you see more nodes here, just click this 3-dotted menu and select show only selected tools. Then hit this icon here to zoom in. Then select this icon here to select all keyframes. We're gonna hit S to smooth, and then we're gonna grab this handle here to change the graph. And then I'm gonna hold Alt on the keyboard and grab this handle and pull it straight. By holding Alt, or I think it's options on Mac, it allows you not to be able to move it up and down. So now we play, it zooms in much faster and kind of give you a gradual slowdown towards the end of the animation. Then go up to settings. Then you want to go to settings, turn on motion blur. We're gonna leave this at 2, but turn this to 260, which is the shutter angle. You're gonna turn off the spline and setting that to 260 is gonna give you this kind of ghosting zoom in effect. Then add the little flicker with the transform node selected and hit control and space. Type in flicker. It's going to create that flicker animation. You can turn up the speed if you want, and I'm going to turn down the range a little bit. If you want to change the color of the flicker, you can do that by changing the channels. You can unselect the channels, basically going to give you pretty much nothing. And then you can go through and select which channel you want. So it's going to flick on the blue channel, or you can select 2 channels and create a new color effect. This drop down menu is telling you what it's flickering. So right now it's flickering the gamma. You can change it to lift. It's going to pretty much brighten up your image. You can change it to vignette, with basically like the little corners, which I actually like that better. Then get that alpha, and the alpha actually creates transparency. You notice, if you see, I don't know how well you can see it on YouTube, but you start to see the little checkerboard pattern in the background. If you had an image behind this, you'd be able to see that image. Say for instance, I take the background node and connect it to my node flow. I'm gonna select the merge and then hit Control T. I'm gonna click on background. I'm gonna hit 1 on the keyboard to bring it up in my first viewer. I'm gonna change it to green. So now in the second viewer, you'll notice you start seeing the green in the background. So this basically allows you to create different color like strobe effects if you wanted to. But right now we're gonna disconnect that and reconnect this to the media out. So now I'm gonna switch this back to vignette. And then I'm gonna go grab a color corrector node. So with my flicker addition node selected, click color corrector from the toolbar. Then I'm gonna right click on saturation, modify width, and select atom curves. Go to the modifier. I'm gonna use the same settings I use on the transform node, just to create that black or white effect. To change source to custom, I'm gonna leave scale at 1. Then I'm gonna go back to 0, for the first frame rather, and we're gonna change the offset to 1. That'll bring back the color. Then I'm gonna select input and create a keyframe. I'm gonna go a few frames shorter than what I did the transforms. I'm gonna go by frame 15. And I'm gonna turn input to 1. And actually on this scale, we're gonna turn it to -1. It's gonna create the slow motion effect and give us a black and white transition. You can go in and edit the spline for this if you want to, but it's not really necessary. Last thing we're gonna do is select mirror on the color corrector modifier, and then go back to transform. We're gonna select mirror again. It's just a temporary glitch that won't actually be in the final render. By selecting mirror, what it's gonna do is when you get to the end of your frame, it's then gonna zoom back out to the original position. So now if you go back to the edit page, now we let the effect play out, and you'll notice it'll zoom in, and then right at the end, and zoom back out, thus keeping you from having to create keyframes at the end of the effect. From here, all I have to do is hold Alt on the keyboard, grab my adjustment clip, and then move it over. Now this section here is longer than my previous section. All I gotta do is adjust the adjustment clip. All my keyframes and everything I've created are dynamic, so they automatically scale to the length of the adjustment clip. And for this next effect, we're gonna be using this glass bullet hole asset from Cinepacks. It's free and there's a link in the description down below. I believe they have a Memorial Day sale too for like, I think it's 35 to 40% off. So you can check that out while you're there. So now I'm gonna box select all my clips, right click and go to new Fusion clip, and then I'm going to Fusion. Now in Fusion, I'm gonna delete these merge nodes. Pretty sure it is, but I'm gonna double check on clicking media 3 and hit 1 on the keyboard to bring in the viewer. So now that's my glass. So now I'm gonna hit F2 and just select glass hole. We'll type in glass hole. So now I'll take the glass effect, take the output of it and connect it to my media 1. Then I go to my toolbar and grab a background node. The output of it and connect it to the merge. I click on the merge tool and go into the inspector tab, and where it says operator, I'm gonna change it from over to in. And then I'm gonna go back over to my merge 2. I'm gonna right click and select swap inputs, or you can use the keyboard shortcut Control T. And that just swaps these inputs. So now background is in the background. Glass effect is in the foreground. Click on background node, and I'm gonna select a polygon mask from the toolbar. Over in the inspector tab, I'm gonna select invert. Then I'm gonna control and scroll with my mouse wheel to zoom in. So now I'm gonna use the polygon to roughly create a mask the shape of this bullet hole. Once I'm done, I'm gonna go over here and now and soften the edges. Then I grab my media 2, take the output of it and connect it to the merge 2. This is gonna cover up everything, so we're gonna select merge 3 and then go over to operator, change from over to under. But now when we zoom in, you can see our clip is within the bullet hole. So now the mask we created, of course, is still there, and we wanna get rid of it for the time being. And first, we're gonna go down here where it says right click for shape animation. We're gonna right click and select remove polyline. They're basically gonna reset in the keyframes. Then we're gonna go to size and turn it to 0. It's gonna get rid of our mask. Then we're gonna move the playhead to right where the glass breaks. If I go to, it's roughly about frame 4 or 5, so roughly it's 4. And so basically we're gonna go through now and go to frame 3. Go back up to the inspector tab of our polyline, which is our polygon mask. Select the keyframe, go to frame 4. And then hit this little icon here to reset it back to default. So now the mask we created won't show up until the bullet hole comes in. Now I'm gonna select my media 2 and merge 3 and move them over. I'm gonna select the merge 2 and go to the toolbar and grab a transform node. So I'm gonna select where I want the effect to start. So I'm gonna go roughly about frame 18. I'm gonna set a keyframe on size and inspect the tab of the transform. Then I'm gonna go frame 40, and then I'm gonna increase size. Then I'm gonna double click on the size and I'm gonna type in 40. 40 might be too much, but you basically want to make sure, well, actually it's not enough because you see the glass edges here. So I'm just turning it all the way up. So 65 is a good spot. So now we're going back, get the glass break, get a mask, and then it zooms in. So then we're gonna select the transform, go to the spline tab, click on transform, click zoom to fit. We're gonna select all keyframes. We're gonna hit S to smooth. Then we're gonna hit T on the keyboard. And the ease in, we're gonna turn up the ease in to roughly about 50, 55. And the ease out, I'll probably put it about 35, 40. Actually, I'm gonna turn this up to about 55, almost about 60. I'll leave this about 43. Then I'll go over to settings within the transform node, turn on my motion blur, and I just turn this up to 10.